If you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Hit me. Dynamite's got the rap patrol on the Gap Patrol. Foes that wanna make sure his casket's closed. Rap critics who say his money cash holes. He's from the hood.
Hey everybody, how are you? It is Tuesday morning, and I am spent, to say the least. Last week was just one of those weeks where you knew going into it you're going to be burning a candle at both ends, and sure enough, I did. Ended up with about 17 and a half hours of training last week. Finished the week off strong down in the Woodlands after watching Kevin and Jeff race the marathon down there. Just an incredible display. Shouts out to both of those guys for putting in the work and the effort this whole time, and it really showed up on race day. Jeff ran a 3:06.25, I believe, and qualified for Boston by about 3.5 minutes. Kevin missed by about 12 seconds, but let me tell you what a badass this guy is. To go from 3:20, which is already amazingly fast, down to 3:05 is just insane. Absolutely insane. And I've been telling anybody who will listen, kudos to Kevin for being so strong and not just venting crazily after falling just shy of his goal, because let me tell you, if that was me, all hell would have broken loose. So congrats to Kevin. He had the best line of the whole weekend. As we were waiting outside the medical tent for Jeff, he said to Jenny, "Man, I just wish I had breasts right now." And her response was, "Do you really want it that bad?" And then it just dead silence thereafter. It was probably the funniest thing I'd ever heard. But kudos to him for, again, keeping that inside and not showing outwardly the frustration and the emotion. Because I know for sure I would have broken down had I missed by 12 seconds. Shoot, I missed by 20-something minutes and I bawled like a little baby, so couldn't imagine 12 seconds. Anyway, the week that was brutal. It was a lot of candle burning, like I said, long, slow efforts, finishing up with basically almost a 5-hour ride, basically 4 hours, 45 minutes, covering 92 miles, with probably at least 50 to 60 of those miles, if not more, on the Ironman Texas course, which gives me great idea of what's going to happen in that race. Rollers, nothing really too steep. I got out of my saddle once towards the end when my legs were fairly tired, but that was it. Followed that up with just a tremendously strong run. My goal was to run the times, the splits, like I'm planning on running in Puerto Rico. So the first 10 minutes were at 8:12. The second 10 minutes were at 8:11. These are per miles, and finished up with a 7:48. And at no time did my legs feel shot. So I'm really, really excited. Thinking about revising my goals for Puerto Rico now. Coming off of that, looking at the terrain for Puerto Rico, which is as flat as a pancake on both the ride and the run. Knowing that Jeff let me his swim skin. That thing alone must make me 3 to 4 seconds per 100 faster. I mean, it's incredible. The water just beads on it. Thank you, Jeff, so much. So got a lot of stuff heading in the right direction. I'm really excited. Volume for the year and really overall in this training for Ironman Texas from December 11th through March 4th is just crazy. I've swam nearly 57 miles, rode 1,278 miles, and ran for 297 miles. I mean, that is just crazy. So basically, in a little under 3 months, we're looking at some pretty big volume here, and that kind of has me excited for what can happen, because I've got not just Ironman Texas, but Ironman Arizona, and then after Puerto Rico, I've got 2 other half Ironman, one with Rev 3 and more than likely one with Ironman Austin. So I'm looking at easily, potentially 1,000 miles ran, 6,000 miles on the bike, and over 200 plus miles in the water. That's just crazy. This is my 3rd year in the sport, and if anybody would have told me that this is what I'd be doing volume-wise, I would have told them they're nuts. But thanks to people like you for the encouragement and the motivation and the inspiration, and reading your blogs and watching your video blogs and seeing your posts on Twitter and on Facebook, man, it just fires me up to get going. I love it. And my body is reacting very, very well to it, recovering extremely well, listening to my hunger cues, paying attention to my food. I mean, you saw the picture that Karen put up of the guy who used to work at 7-Eleven not too long ago, which was me. And I probably weighed about 175 pounds in that picture. Right now, I weigh about 143. And I mean, that feels like a lifetime ago. And there is no way I would have ever have thought that I'd be able to do what I'm doing today 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So thank you to everybody out there for all the things that you do, because it helps inspire me and helps keep pushing me. Actually, let me show you what I did this weekend. This is the course that we rode, the 67-mile course. Can you see the elevation chart down below? Now, don't let those peaks fool you. They are not that steep. They're not that bad. This is the opposite way of Ironman Texas. So you got to read it this way on the elevation chart for what Ironman Texas is. So you see how the planes are going in left to right from the way I'm looking at it, probably right to left, I guess, from the way you're looking at it. Well, we go the opposite way. So this is how we went. This is how you go for Ironman Texas. So this was the 67-mile course, and then I did this 25-mile course thereafter. And quick funny story, as I was finishing up the 25-mile course, I had caught up to a woman probably with about a half mile left. She didn't realize it was me. She thought it was her girlfriend who I had passed maybe a minute or so before that. And she turned around and she was about to say, this is going to measure out to about 67 miles exactly. And I said, and she goes, oh, wait, you're not, whatever that woman's name was. I said, no, I'm not, but we can chat. You know, we've only got about a half mile to go. And she said, how do you know? I said, well, I already rode the 67 and I'm doing the 25-mile loop now. And she looked at me with this crazy bug-eyed look like, you already did the 67 and you're finishing the 25 before I get through the 67? And that made me feel good that I was putting the pedal to the metal on the bike. Finished at about 19.5 miles an hour, which really has me excited for potentially going over 20 miles an hour in Puerto Rico, because it didn't look like that elevation map. Puerto Rico doesn't look like that elevation map that I just showed you. Puerto Rico is like this, flat. So depending on the winds, we could see some pretty fast times for myself, which I'm really excited about. I did slightly under 20 miles an hour in Austin. I think it was 19.9. So that's at least the goal, maybe 20 and a half, 21. Set myself up for a good run. I'm ready to rock and roll. What I'm really ready for is taper, which doesn't start till, I guess, Friday, really. Friday's an off day. Tomorrow we've got another hard set. This week has been one of those short, pounded out, you know, crush your body type of weeks already. I know what, excuse me, recovery meal. Oof. It was a smoothie. A little pineapple came up. We know what Wednesday and Thursday, or I know what Wednesday and Thursday looks like already, and they're going to be pounders. Legs will be fried come Friday, but that gives me about 10 days of taper, which is awesome. Has me really excited to know that I'll be going into Puerto Rico freshly rested and can't ready to get down there and explode on that course. And I've already got my 2013 wrapped up in my head, at least the first quarter of it, in terms of how well I do in Puerto Rico. If I do hit my goal of 5:10 or less, then I'm going back down there to try to get to Vegas. If I don't hit 5:10 or less, then I'm going to maybe more than likely switch to marathon training after Ironman Arizona in November and head back down to the Woodlands and race the marathon down there. And then Jeff and Kevin can be Sherpas for Annie, myself, and we'll bring Jenny back down for the marathon as well. So anyway, that's the week that was. 17 and a half hours in the books. My body is trashed right now. I probably need a nap more than I need to go to work, but hey, we got to make money somehow, right? So that being said, folks, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.